Good afternoon. I can announce a ceasefire and a hostage deal has been reached between Israel and Hamas.
I would be surprised if the deal falls through between now and Monday. There is a real clear motivation for both Hamas and for Prime Minister Netanyahu to try and deliver this truce before President Trump's inauguration on the 20th. President Trump's pressure has clearly played out in a productive way, because we know now that the deal, or the semblance of the deal, is quite similar to what has been on the table since May of 2024. And it's clear that there is a Trump effect.
All hell will break out. If those hostages aren't back, I don't want to hurt your negotiation. If they're not back by the time I get into office, all hell will break out in the Middle East. And it will not be good for Hamas, and it will not be good, frankly, for anyone. All hell will break out. I don't have to say anymore, but that's what it is. And they should have given them back a long time. They should have never taken them. There should have never been the attack of October 7th. People forget that.
I think more broadly, we have seen the Trump administration come in with a new, very transactional approach. And in the run-up to his inauguration, he has used bluster and hardline tactics as part of his negotiation sort of process. This is not the first time we're witnessing this, and I think it is proving to be effective.
Thank you.
Folks, credit for this, Mr. President, you or Trump?
Is that a joke? Oh, thank you.
Both teams should be getting the credit for this. Certainly, the Biden team has been leading and managing negotiations for quite some time, but it has been abundantly clear that Biden himself has been unwilling to exert the necessary pressure on Prime Minister Netanyahu. And that has been really problematic and a cause of the longer-term obstruction we have seen. President Trump, that has had a more prickly historical relationship with Prime Minister Netanyahu, has clearly turned the tables. And I think that that is an important dynamic, and one that I'm willing to give President Trump credit for. Getting a ceasefire is very different to perhaps delivering a longer-term political settlement. And so while the deal, once it is signed and implemented supposedly from this Sunday, and it won't be the first thing on President Trump's desk once he's inaugurated, will certainly return to his desk as a persistent issue that needs to be addressed. And so we have to see what he does then.
بدناش بيت الواحد ينام مرتاح، ينام اخيم، المهم ينام مرتاح يا اخي. إحنا فوق السنة وثلاث أشهر قاعدين مش عارفين لا ناكل ولا نشرب ولا ننام ولا نقعد. كل ساعة بنقول ندعي الله وتوقف الحرب. إحنا يا جماعة بدنا نتريح، بدنا نعيش بأمان ونشكر الله ونحمده. إلا في هذه الساعة سمعنا خبر كويس الحمد لله.
What I am more worried about is the long-term sustainability of the deal. It's a three-phased agreement that from 16 days into the first phase, which is going to last for 6 weeks, is going to already require negotiations to get to the second phase. A lot of the details of the second phase and the release of further hostages and Palestinian prisoners have not been agreed upon. The terms and conditions of Israel's withdrawal from Gaza also remain unclear. And lastly, and I think most critically, is the longer-term process of governance in Gaza and a political horizon for peace, a political settlement that could realize Palestinian aspirations for statehood remain completely undiscussed. finally, I don't think we need to look too far beyond the beginning of the next phase of negotiations, which should take place almost 2.5 weeks from the implementation day of the truce. What if they can't agree on the next steps, who's to be released, and the conditions of Israeli withdrawal from the conflict? So there are a lot of red flags on the horizon.
يلا فوق ابو